Hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? It's Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Here we are, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's right, Central, 9 o'clock. Anyway, I don't need to tell you what time it is. Look, hope you're having a great start to your Saturday morning. Here it is, July 31st. And yeah, I hope you got some tennis on tap this weekend and that you're looking forward to that. Look, a couple things one thing before we get started today. Down below in the description area, there's a link that will take you over to a brand new course. The details and how to enroll if you're a little freaked out about that server's partner in doubles when you're returning serve. And look, I mean, I used to experience the same thing too until I kind of figured it out. And really the whole goal was how do you eventually settle that server's partner down? How do you kind of put the old ball and chain on them, kind of put them in the deep freeze so that your cross court return to serve, that area, that target, that lane becomes like, as I'm saying today, an 8-lane freeway with no traffic on it. So you feel confident that you've got time to execute whatever shot you want, whether it's a forehand, whether it's a backhand, whether it's a drive, whether it's a slice, chip and charge coming on in, it doesn't matter. I want to show you how to do that. But first, before you get that wide open lane, you got to be able to really settle that server's partner down, and this course will help you do that. Down below in the description area is the link that will take you to that new course. Great price on it, really big discounted price, along with a couple of other bonus gift videos because this is a brand new introductory course, and all that good stuff is available until this Monday night, which is August 2nd at midnight Pacific time zone. All right, guys. So look, how to win more, right? I want you to stop doing this one thing, and instead I want you to do something else. And here's what happens is, well, let me ask you this question first. Let's take, for example, just a standard. Last week we worked on, let's take what we worked on last week, which was that topspin forehand rally ball, trying to make it a little bit more offensive, right? And the question that I want to ask you is, how many times in the last 12 months have you hit what you would consider, man, I would take that one all day long, right? How many times have you hit that shot? And the answer is probably a lot of them, right? It's more than a dozens, than a dozen. It's more than dozens. It's more than hundreds. Maybe it's in the thousands. In the last year of all the tennis you've played, how many times have you hit a high quality topspin forehand? I'm just using that as an example, right? We could use the cross court backhand drive return to serve, right? In doubles. How many times have you hit the one that you want? Lots of times. And what we do though is that time that we miss is we go, well, man, I gotta tinker with technique. I gotta figure out, well, how do I make this thing perfect? How do I make this thing to where I never ever miss it again? And so what we end up doing is we sort of start tinkering with technique, spend more time on technique, and I'll tell you the reality of it is it becomes an excuse, for missing, which is, well, I got to go back and I got to do more. I got to do more time in the ball machine. Got to do, more time with my pro. I got to do more time with cross court this or that or drills or this, whatever. And the reality is you've already got the shot. You've already hit this thing dozens, lots of dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of times. And what you got to stop doing is going back and thinking, well, I gotta continue to tinker more and more and more and find the formula, the lockdown, the fail-safe, the never ever miss again formula, which is just an excuse, right? I mean, has Fed, I mean, let's take arguably the greatest player of all time, Roger Federer. Has he ever played a match where he's never ever made an unforced error? Yes, no. Well, I mean, look, we've watched him just demolish players, right? And if you look up the stats on that particular match, did he ever miss a ball? Yes. Maybe a few, but he missed a ball. Did he go into, oh my God, dang it, I better go back and right now, well, I've got to tinker with technique because I missed that ball, right? I've got to go back to the practice court. No, that's an excuse. What I want you to do instead, right, is I want you to recall, when was the last time? And when was the last time that you hit your, and again, I'm only using this as an example, the standard topper forehand, let's call it offensive rally ball. When was the last time you hit it just the way you want it? Or pretty darn close, right? Was it last year? No. Was it in the last 6 months? No. Was it in the last month? No. Was it in the last match you played last week? No. Was it in this match about 4 shots ago, 3 shots ago? Yes. Yes. And all that you've got to do is trust that if you continue to pump in that positive image of what you know how to do, that you're going to bring out more of those in the future, rather than if you go into that mental thing of you're going into the criticism, you're going into how could I miss? You're all negative after you miss that one. And all that does is it really inhibits you from trusting that you actually know how to do what you want to do and continue to bring it out in the next time you play the shot, right? So look, I hope you're getting the message today, right? Stop thinking that you got to continue to tinker and you got to change and you got to do this or that. You've hit that one shot dozens, hundreds, thousands of times, right? And for me, look, trying to be perfect with technique because, before I went online and started teaching online, I mean, that's what I did. I taught at clubs, right? And I was trying to teach perfect technique. And so when I would go out and play in front of my members, in front of my students, I better manufacture the good stuff, right? Well, lots of times I wouldn't, and I'd get down on myself, and I would think, well, what am I going to do to make it perfect? And eventually, once I started competing in the national events, I realized that first of all, the top guys in my age group miss, and they don't get all crazy, goofy, negative, right? And yet they are super consistent. I mean, if you were on 7 Around 7 yesterday with Chris Duggar, we asked him the one, what's his number one question, and we eventually got to what he observed that the top guys in all the age groups do is they rarely miss. They rarely miss, and I believe the reason is that because when they do miss, they don't go into that whole thing about I got to change technique because they know that they've hit the shot that they intended to hit tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of times before, and they just forget it. They just totally forget the miss. And if they do anything, they recall the last time they hit it the way they wanted to, which might have been the shot before the one they hit in that rally. That's all they're doing. They're just reinforcing in their mind that they actually know what to do. And they trust that in the next point, if that shot presents itself, that they're going to be fine. So, yeah, we got to stop beating ourselves up. We got to stop thinking that, you know what, I got to do something different. I got to go back to the drawing board. I got to get back with my pro and say, God, come on, man, you got to fix my forehand. Fix your forehand? Are you kidding me? You already know how to hit it. Is it as good as Rogers? No. And it doesn't have to be as good as Rogers, right? You're not playing on the pro tour, right? You're playing age group stuff. You're playing NTRP stuff. And that's great. That's just great. And so All that you've got to do is just go back and remember that time. And that time was maybe a minute ago. Maybe it was last game. Maybe it was last set. All right, whenever, right? But you've done the thing that you want to do hundreds, dozens, hundreds, thousands of times. And you got to trust. You just got to trust. Here's the key. You got to trust your subconscious at some point, right? In terms of allowing the ones that you've done in the past, the good ones, to come out on their own. You don't have to manufacture the stuff. The biggest mistake I've made with my game, and I'm still learning how to do this, and part of it is really disciplining and really adhering to a between points routine. And that is for me to trust that my subconscious knows how to produce technique on any given shot. I don't have to consciously manufacture it. Now, look, in practice, do I want to tinker on something? Sure. In practice, and it could be I'm consciously working on maybe a little something here or there, or maybe I'm working on consciously in practice a different height above the top of the net in terms of where my target is. But usually technique wise, that's done. That's actually done. I mean, look, I think about the Big O, my practice partner in the desert, who I'm with, lots on the court. And my advice to him is always, you've already done the thing that you just wanted to do. You've already done it hundreds of times before, hundreds of times in the last week, maybe in this last practice session, right? Or two. You've already done it. So, well, there he is. He shows up on cue. My number one question: how do I win the world championship versus Sievertson today? Well, you know what I'm going to tell you, which is to stop being so negative right after you miss, and to in fact let it go, forget it, don't even consider it, and just trust that you actually know how to do the thing that you just intended to do, right? So whatever that is, and I don't know, I'm kind of losing it here. Anyway, you guys know where I'm coming from on this. I want you to go out there today, and whatever you're doing today, whether it's on the drill court, whether it's on the practice match court, maybe you've got a league match where the results are, going to be, the team outcome is going to depend on your match. Maybe you're playing a tournament. I don't know. But whatever it is today, when you miss, just forget it. Just completely forget it, and don't build an excuse at the end of the match that if you lose the match today, you go, well, I really haven't practiced enough on something. Oh, you know what? I better call my pro, and I got to make sure that he fixes this or that. When you're playing the match today, don't build an excuse. Do the opposite. Forget it when you miss it, and trust that you've hit that thing that you intended to just play dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of, maybe hundreds of thousands of times in the past. And just trust that you can do it again. All right? We got to stop this whole conscious manufacturing of the game. And look, I mean, there may be something brand new that you're working on with your game. Yeah, I mean, it could be that you're working on a different kind of backhand, like you're trying to actually become offensive with it, and you're trying to drive an underspin backhand offensively. Great, right? Maybe you don't have enough conscious practice time to where it will unconsciously come out in your match, right? Or subconsciously come out of your match. Totally cool. That's fine. Until then, do what you need to do. But you're getting the picture. So the other thing, with winning the world championship versus Sievertson today is I would go straight up the middle. I'd go right through him up the middle. I think if you go to the corners, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. He's too accurate from the corners in terms of the geometry. When you pull a player out wide at his skill level, does he bring the big massive thunder, with his groundies? No. I mean, he can He can make it. He's got that sneaky power, but he's super accurate from the corners. So if I were you, and lots of times I'm glad I'm not. No, I didn't say that. If I were you, Big O, I would just go through them right up the middle and just see what you get, right? And don't be panicked that you got to end the point early. I would do the opposite. I would see if you can, lose a first set, maybe go down a break a second, and see if you can't get them to huff and puff. I don't know if you can do that. I mean, I know it's going to be hot out there today, and but I would go right through the middle. You're in great shape, right? I mean, you work out more than anyone I know, so use that to your advantage. And I know you want to be the big shot maker. That's fine, but be the big shot maker when you've really got a wide opening, and not a little sliver over there, either cross court or up the line. All right, guys, that's it for me today. What am I going to do today? I'm not sure. I mean, the bike's definitely on the agenda. Had a great bike ride yesterday down by Stagecoach Reservoir, where we're building a new house down there next summer. We've got 6+ acres down there we bought last fall, and we're clearing out some of the dead wood, some of the dead standing wood, some of this dead standing. I mean, some of the dead on the ground. I'm not actually physically doing that. I mean, knowing me, I'd find a way to screw it up. But anyway, guys, get out there, have a great day. Look, what do I want you to do? 2 things. I want you to leave me a comment, either down below in the comments area, or shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. What's on your mind with today's topic? I want you to click that link, if you haven't already done so, in the description area to go check out my new course to help you really settle down that server's partner in doubles when you're returning serve, so that you can really build some confidence and feel like you've got a wide open lane cross court that you can drive your return into back cross court, get it over there in front of your doubles partner. Whether you drive it, whether you top it, whether you slice it, whether you hack it, whether you chip it, whether you charge, I don't care. Whatever it is, you got to get that service partner and their potential movement out of your mind. And this course is going to show you how to do that. So check it out. Enrollment does close this Monday, which is August 2nd, at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. So that's it for me today. Guys, as always, get out there, help another human. Have a spectacular day, guys. I will see you again tomorrow.